Welcome to another episode of my Motortown playthrough. Today we are back with the Jemusi semi. It was not just a fever dream that had actually appeared in traffic at the end of the last episode. No, it's actually a thing, but it's not really completely in the game right now. It's kind of partially implemented. It's in the traffic, and I figured out that you can actually spawn it at the warehouses. So if it has a vehicle spawner, that's also where you can get it there, but you cannot buy it, therefore you cannot upgrade it, so it's just rental in the end, or a borrowed vehicle, whatever. But yeah, just have a quick look at it. It's pretty nice looking and should be quite interesting to use once we get it. I saw on the Trello that there are actually apparently a few trailers planned for this one as well. Honestly, right now it's looking pretty hilarious if you put it in front of a drive-in trailer. Let me see if I can actually spawn a trailer here, then I can show you what I mean. Apart from that, overall, right now it's really just the Jemusi with a fifth wheel attachment. So that's gonna be pretty interesting once we get to actually use it, but with trailers as they are right now, I mean, this is a capable vehicle. It comes with lockable differentials and all of that, so it can definitely be used for quite a few things that even the regular ones cannot be. But it also has a few deficits, and I'm quickly gonna touch upon them in a moment. But note that this thing in the end is still obviously completely work in progress, so who knows what's gonna change in between now and when it's finally fully announced. But yeah, it's looking pretty small in front of the drive-in trailer. I don't think I even need to... I'll quickly lower the landing gear. What the hell? Yeah. Looking pretty cute there. But no other semi-truck has lockable differentials and all of that. So this thing can actually do a few things. Thing about it is, it also currently has a medium engine or medium duty engine equipped. Just like the other Jemusi variants, so I'm curious to see if that's gonna change. Or if it's gonna be a smaller tier of semi-trucks with smaller trailers and all of that planned. That would also be an option, would be kind of nice, but I'm not sure yet. If we put it in front of my other trailer that I have here, it's looking a bit more like its fitting size. Also quite fitting color here, which is nice. Let's hook the trailer and yeah, check it out. I think this is really looking the part now. But apart from the medium duty engine, it may have also have a slightly too weak suspension. Oh god, it's rolling away. So yeah, that's what's happening right now if you hook a fully loaded trailer to it. And yeah, this is the new cargo stacking for the planks. So we can now have 9 instead of the usual 3. And while this should be working in theory, yeah, this is not recommendable. Like, not at all. So let's relieve it of its pain and see if we can do the journey with one of my other trailers, or with one of my other engines. Let's unhook. See if we can drive it out of here. I mean, at this point I might as well just go in reverse. What an immensely botched operation just from the get-go. We're off to a good start here. But yeah, I'll just leave this here and see how my other semi-truck does. I think this should be a better kind of benchmark for how heavy the entire thing is. It may not have the maximum stiffness springs on it because it's more off-road ready, but that's also kind of what we need. And I could actually see a scenario where maybe we are supposed to take another trailer that's supposed to be introduced in the near future and take that up to the trail. I think this full-size stuff might be a bit much. But yeah, this truck can carry. I wish I checked the springs beforehand, but I was really not expecting anything like this to happen. But yeah, we're gonna... oh god, it's... yeah, steering doesn't really work that well if you're being pushed around the turn by your trailer. Can I at least get the other one loose so that it also despawns? Because right now I'm kinda high-centered on top of it. Yeah. That should be alright. Also, my trailer is fully lowered, which for this kind of load may not be the best setting. So maybe for this kind of thing I might buy another one. Right now for anything that's not a specialized good like liquids or vehicles, you could have really let me have a right of way, even if I shouldn't have. Yeah, anything that's not like needed on another trailer like container and all of that. This is for only one that I have for general goods, so yeah, it's not really meant for anything that heavy. If you're not triple stacking the planks, it's also kinda alright. So this right now is definitely another weight category for this one. So we're gonna keep that in mind. I also have that it's making the trailer immensely yeah, prone to sliding. Yep, there it is. I may have tried to slightly provoke it, but it didn't disappoint. I think the planks right now, they go for about 60k a piece, so that's 6 times 9, 54k-ish. So that's not too shabby if I can make the delivery. And again, I think another trailer would be much needed for this in the long run. Also having some weird FPS drops at points. I've noticed that with some of the past updates, especially 0.75, it kind of started to go down a bit with my performance. So I may need to lower down the settings, which is a bit ridiculous with my new PC, but yeah, whatever. There's still a lot of work to be done with performance optimizing. And I'm curious to see if they are going to go with LODs. So that's the old model. Basically having different submodels for each thing in the game, and if you are a certain distance away from it, it's just gonna start loading in the lower profile model. And right now, for the most part, it seems like it's either all the way there or just vanishes completely after some point. Like some of the bridge segments. Some of these you can see from across almost the entire game here. They are visible from a far distance if you don't have a mountain in between. But some others, like the ones that we are about to drive towards to, where it pops in. So it doesn't really seem to do much with distance scaling, it's just yeah, it's either there or not. And really in terms of performance, the ones that are always there are much more of a problem than the ones that pop in. But you have a whole level of detail, multiple versions, like I think 4 or 5 depending on how things go. Usually, that's the old system, and while it's decently simple, there are programs that can even generate the lower model or the lower polygon models automatically. It always comes at the risk of having visible pop-in, or not even just something just appears out of nowhere, like parts of a bridge here. But instead, sometimes the change is actually noticeable. So right in front of your eyes, the vehicle that just overtook gets noticeably worse as it disappears in the distance or something like that. Then again, I don't really know if this really should even be a problem with Motor Town to begin with, because really from just its styling and everything, its high-level models should be about yeah, not even second level detail on other ones. So there's usually LOD 0, which is the highest level version. Then there's LOD 1, which is everything a few meters away, and LOD 2 is about I don't know how far away, but that's when you have the first noticeable drop. And I think from overall detail level with these models, especially when it comes to rounded corners and all of that, where you can usually spend a lot of polygons trying to make things look smooth, then these would be more like LOD 2 level. I mean, the new models have a few details in them, so maybe that's a bit higher than, but I don't know. Also depends on the vehicle. If it has a lot of rounded edges, if it has a lot of yeah, like smooth flowy body parts, like for example the Fortum, which is a Porsche lookalike, that's needing a few more polygons than something that's boxed to begin with, like some of the semis here. Anyways, I'm kind of losing the plot here, because I didn't just want to talk about LODs, but there is also the new technology introduced with Unreal Engine 5, which is nanite. And that's really just the entire thing scaling automatically, so it doesn't need different level of detail, or lots are they also called, things anymore, but it would just be the original polygon models, so the highest detail, and the game and PC then just does the distance scaling on its own, which should be far more smooth than LODs, but it's also new technology, so yeah, you gotta get familiar with that first and really figure out how it all works. And I'm not really sure if the industry is there yet to really fully utilize the stuff. But from what I've heard, however they do it, I mean, including different LODs for all the models is of course a lot of work, but it's not like the whole nanite thing can be utilized without any additional work either. There is some stuff to be prepared for it, and I'm not entirely sure how that goes, but it's not something that just comes on its own. So whatever route is going to be chosen at some point, and I kind of wish they would do it sooner than later to help out not only how the game looks, reduce some of the pop-in, and also help the performance. Whatever they do, it's gonna take quite a while. But right now I'm not entirely sure if EVA is implemented. There is some noticeable changes with how the road is rendered when you come closer, which might be hinting at some LOD level stuff. But for the trees and all, I would have to really take a closer look and pay more attention to that. But yeah, without LODs or any other distance scaling, the game was definitely running a lot better when it didn't have these kind of mountains with all the trees and everything. I mean, the mountains don't really matter too much. I assume the whole ground detail is just gonna be the same all the way around the map. But all the trees added and all of that, that can definitely have performance impact if it isn't really done with any distance scaling as it seems right now. I mean, some of it certainly seems to have LODs. That tree there, that large one. Yeah, if I go further away, you can see how the branches start disappearing. So some of it definitely has some LODs happening, and it gets more detailed the closer you go to it. God, this thing is going slow, and of course it's fully upgraded, so it has the 540 horsepower engine. If Jemusi only gets the medium duty engines, then I think the maximum would be 330 horsepower. Of course with the turbocharger, so it might be getting closer to 400. But this should be around 600, so this is definitely a different ballpark here. But if there are going to be some more medium duty trailers added, then that might also be another solution to the problem. I sincerely I hope that one of those trailers will be a 20-ton tanker trailer, like the one that we used to have in the past, with a bit more detail and all of that, and hopefully not that top heavy. Because that would make fuel and oil deliveries a breeze. Would definitely consider just taking one of the heavy semis and just pulling that stuff and yeah, just doing deliveries that way instead of slower and a bit more tedious 40-ton tanker. That's just a bit too top heavy, even if you have fully upgraded it. I kinda wish I didn't accidentally delete the 20-ton trailer, the one that I had from when the new trailers all came out and I found it on the TWL server. But in the end, that thing was tedious to keep around, so yeah, I wouldn't just want to keep it around for that reason. I did the milk delivery, that was alright, but in the long run, it wouldn't have really worked out with it. Gotta really get a replacement. Also, ideally another version of the Lomax, better suited for regular vehicles. I mean, that's something that I've been talking about for quite a while. That's something more befitting of a majority of jobs that we do in terms of vehicle transportation. And of course, ideally a few more things for the Lomax to be transporting. Because right now it feels like a bit of a mismatch what we should be doing with a trailer and what's actually available to be done. Finally a bit of downhill. Just gotta be careful to not tip the entire thing over. This is foreshadowing, by the way, because I'm not being careful and I know it, but I'm having a hard time trying for it. Just not driving it too much over the limit. I mean, I kind of want to say that I'm not really going that fast, but we are now finally over the speed limit. So that's speed range I feel right at home at. I was also about to say where are all the traffic cars until we finally got one spawning. Oh god, a slight bend in the road. How can I manage? Gotta be very careful with how much I turn in. Otherwise I might turn it over. And here, coming close to the new area. I think this might be a long episode. I didn't expect this delivery to take that long, but then again, I also took some closer looks at the Jemusi, which I'm not entirely sure if I should have. After all, it's kinda not really being published yet, but it's not like I'm driving on the tester only version. I once made an application for that. Maybe I should have made it with a bit more detail, but honestly, if I was to be accepted there, I don't even know what I would do with this series. I don't think it would be a good idea, even if I had permission, to just keep on making videos on the tester only build. I think that's a bit too private. The testing branch here, that's more like a public beta, so that's okay, at least in my book, until somebody tells me otherwise. Oh yeah, I forgot, this entire thing might just be ending through me not being able to get up here or deal with the entire terrain in general. Okay, I know that I have fully lowered the trailer and that's not ideal for this kind of delivery, but I don't think extending the yeah, the ride height and all of that would have done much different here. So we may just be screwed. I mean, at that point I at least don't need to consider too much about the episode length. I could try getting the Jemusi over here, which would take way too long to begin with because it's not upgraded. Yeah. Let me check. We are right here. I don't have a thing here anymore, which is a bit disappointing. Wait, why are all the markers deactivated? I did not do that. I do have caravan there, so we can go and get a rescue vehicle. I mean, I was planning on making another Brutus Wrecker episode anyways. I just got a bit tired of doing the tow truck job, so I wasn't really too keen on that. But hey, recovery business, doing something funny which will most likely fail anyways. Sign me up. I also lowered the suspension on this vehicle because I think even at lowest it's still decently high up. I think the vehicle itself may not agree with that statement, considering how it's driving. Is there is a 4 high not suspension, differential setting. Might as well use it. Come on. Through the cave. I also made a post about the potential for adding actual tunnels at some point. This isn't really what I had in mind with that, and I mean it's likely not even anything in response to that. The thing is, as you can see, there are some lines here that tell that part of the cave is just the regular ground and things like that, and other parts may be actual built-up props, especially the slab on top that's forming the ceiling. So that's what you sometimes have to do if you have a height-only map. And that height map is basically, if you scan it in, you can make this as a 2D map and just have different grayscaling for the different pixels, and that tells you the height of what it would be looking like once you load it in 3D. I think that might be how it's being handled internally, how it's saved, but of course this has not been generated like that. They of course have proper 3D tools to just deal with the terrain generation and adjustments and all of that. Otherwise that would be a nightmare to deal with. The thing I was meaning to say about this type of map is that it really only allows for one ground level at any given place. And that means there are no overhangs and therefore no tunnels or anything. And if you have something like that, and even just an immensely steep cliff, you may need to put in some prop cliffs in order to make that work. And that's stuff that we've already seen on Medium and areas like that. And that's just how these kind of things are being dealt with in general. That's really just common practice. There's of course a whole other type of map like voxel based, which you can then also change things about in real time. Theoretically in Unreal Engine that can also... God dang it, just being stuck here. Just using a heavier truck, even if it's completely unloaded apart from the fuel and me as a driver in there, you can already tell just how much of a handful this entire trail is for these kind of vehicles, so I doubt this will go my way even if I pull the semi-truck up the first ledge there. Oh god, there's another drop. Gotta go fast. And that's the end of my pull, so 4 log it is. Just trying to inch forward. And I can't even really shift up. I mean, I can try, but at that point, yeah, you're either using the gear from 0 to however high you can go, or you're not gonna really make it. Upshifting while on the slope is not an option. Unless you wanna roll back down again. But yeah, it should be clear at this point, this thing is not making it. I mean, the Brutus is, but not the semi-truck. Not the truck, not its load, and I don't think it will even be possible under any circumstances right now. I definitely need another vehicle to make that work. So I think we should also tell us something about being able to transport. Oh God. Even anything like concrete over here. It's just not what we are going to be doing with the current set of vehicles. So getting sand from that construction site, yes, but bringing any supplies over? Maybe in the most limited amount, or maybe once we get whatever new trailers are planned for the Jemusi and possibly also befitting of the SRT and of course the rest of the trucks. Because they all just seem to have the same fifth wheel attachment. Okay, is this where I got stuck or is it even further away from here? Oh God. Yeah, that's never making it up there. But I think after this episode I might have to write a little feedback post about resources to this place, because that seems like quite the trap. Even if it was possible to just, with helper and all of that, get it up here, tow it with Brutus whenever necessary. I don't think this is something that would be what you want to do. I didn't see the truck for a moment. I thought it despawned, so I was a bit baffled, but there it is. Dang it. The rain, of course, doesn't help this in the slightest. I mean, just look at the trail. It's not just that we need to get it up here. We need to get it up there. That's not gonna be happening. But I'll try anyways. We've gone so far here that I think I owe you guys at least the attempt. Okay, we must really be on the brink. And you know what, to be even more secured, I'll just put it in here. Just so that I cannot roll myself back down. Getting into the truck. Okay, that's working well. Well, it worked for a moment. The wheels are kind of sliding a tiny bit. And this is really not doing it either. One thing that I can try, and this is really a measurement of desperation. Or this desperate attempt here. We put the boom out. Just like this. We get the winch controller again. And we try to reel in now because we should have a few meters that we can do before getting stuck in the exact same position again. Oh, this is actually working better than before. I may just slightly go off the mountain here, or the hill, which I don't want. The thing I was actually considering doing here was just extending the boom, trying to go a bit further forward with the truck itself, and then yeah, just retracting the boom again, because that should bring the truck forward. Yeah. Okay, honestly, from just seeing this, I think if I really wanted to make like a painful 3 hour long video, then I would get these logs to their destination. I think it's possible, but I don't think it should be done. I don't know if I want to try it. But yeah, I'm gonna end the episode here. Maybe I'll start another one with this and seeing how far I can take it. I don't think it's something that I'll be uploading, but who knows at this point. Anyways, thanks for watching. I think this is already giving us a way better introduction into how harsh this trail really is and all of that. But yeah, I think if we get a capable Jemusi semi-truck with fitting trailers and all of that, then this might be something new that we can do with all of that, but that all remains to be seen. Until then, thanks for watching. Till next time, this thing isn't moving an inch. Goodbye, and yeah, see you later. Till then, bye bye.